Hi everyone, today we will discuss regarding dentition in mammals. So in this topic we will go through the following objectives: definition of dentition, origin and structure of teeth in mammals, types of dentition in mammals, dental formula, unusual teeth in mammals, origin and evolution of molars in mammals. These are the objectives that we will go through the topic. Dentition. The arrangement of teeth in the upper and lower jaws, mainly on the premaxilla, maxilla and dentary bones, is called as dentition. So in some animals, the teeth are completely absent. For example, in modern turtles and birds, the teeth are completely absent. The teeth are present in all mammals, though a secondary toothless condition is found in some mammals. In platypus, embryonic teeth are replaced by horny epidermal teeth in adults, but those teeth, they are not at all true teeth. In echidna or spiny anteater, that is Tachyglossus, the teeth are absent in all the stages of life. In certain anteaters of the New World, for example, Myrmecophaga, Thamandia and Cyclops, and in adult whale, bone whale, Bellenia, that is right whale, and Caperia, pygmy right whale, and Escherichthys, grey whale, Balaenoptera, rocule whale, Megaptera, humpback whale, where the teeth are completely absent. So in these organisms, the teeth are completely absent. So the arrangement of teeth on the upper and lower jaw, especially on premaxilla, maxilla and dentary bones, is called as dentition. So let us go through the structure of the tooth. A typical mammalian tooth, it can be distinguished into two regions, that is crown and root region. The crown, it is the exposed part of the tooth and it is situated above the root. And the old age, it is generally subject to wear. Whereas the root, if you see that, it is a hidden part in the gum which is anchored in the socket or the alveolus of the jawbone. The tooth encloses the pulp cavity that contains blood vessels, nerves and connective tissue. The junction between the root and crown, that we can call them as neck. So this is the typical structure of a tooth. So there are three kinds of tissue in a typical tooth. They are enamel, dentine and cement. Enamel, the unworn crown, it is covered by a thin, very hard glistening layer that is called as enamel. It is the hardest and heaviest tissue of the vertebrates and it is composed of crystals of hydroxyapatite and it is ectodermal in origin and it is totally acellular in nature. Next one is dentine. Below the enamel, the hard dermal bone substance layer is found, that is called as dentine, which is harder than the bone but softer than the enamel. So the ivory, it is a specialized dentine and hard creamy white substance which is found in elephant, hippopotamus, walrus and narwhals, tusks, etc. The human dentine, it is composed of mainly calcium phosphate and fluoride at about 66.72%, organic matter 28.01% and calcium carbonate. The next one is cement. The root of the tooth, it is covered by a thin layer of the cement, that is cementum or crista petrosa, and a vascular periodontal membrane of strong connective tissue fibers. Those fibers, we can call them as Sharpie's fibers. The cement, it is a non-vascular bone and usually acellular in nature. It is softer than the dentine and it is rich with that of the collagenous fibers. It wears rapidly when exposed. So the pulp cavity, it is lined by a layer of bone cells that are called as odontoblast cells. So the dentine and cement, they are mesodermal in origin, whereas the enamel, it is ectodermal in origin. So generally the teeth, it is said to be ectomesodermal in origin. Types of dentition in mammals. So the teeth are arranged on different manners. Based on that, the dentition it will be different in all the mammals. So one of the first classification, that is a classification according to the shape and size of the teeth. The dentition it is classified into two types, that is homodont dentition and heterodont dentition. Homodont dentition, where all the teeth, if they are similar in size, shape and function, those teeth they are called, those teeth and that type of dentition we can call them as homodont dentition, which is also called as isodont dentition, where all the teeth are alike in their shape and size. Example, the toothed whales Odontoceti pinnipedians show a tendency towards homodont dentition. The fishes and amphibians, reptiles, and in the extinct toothed birds also we can see this homodont type of dentition. The second one is heterodont dentition. If the teeth are distinguished, that means if they are differ in their size, shape and function totally, that type of dentition we can call them as heterodont dentition. That means the teeth will differ in their shape, size and function from each other, and they will carry out different function. That type of dentition we can call them as heterodont dentition. Examples, mammals. In mammals, just you can see in human beings, we can see the incisors, canines, premolars and molars, which are totally different in their shape, size and functions also. So heterodont dentition it is also found in some Port Jackson shark, that is Heterodontus, and in several reptiles, especially among mammal-like reptiles, we can see this heterodont type of dentition. So this is the classification of dentition in mammals based on the shape and size of the teeth. Classification according to the mode of attachment to the teeth. Based on mode of attachment, the dentition it is classified into the following types. The first one is thecodont dentition. It is seen among the mammals. In this, the teeth they are lodged deeply in the bony socket or alveoli of the jawbone, and the capillaries and the nerves enter the pulp cavity through the open tips of the hollow roots. Examples, crocodiles, and in some fishes, that is haddock, garpike and barracuda. In these organisms also we can see this thecodont type of dentition, where the teeth if they are deeply located in the jaw bones and deep root will be there. That's why that type of dentition we can call them as thecodont dentition. The second one is acrodont dentition. The teeth if they are fused to the surface of the underlying jaw bone, they have no any roots, just they are attached to the edges of the jaw bone by fibrous membrane. That type of dentition we can call them as acrodont dentition. Example, fishes, amphibians and some reptiles. In amphibians, acrodont and homodont dentition it is seen except in Necturus. The acrodont possessing reptiles are Spinodon, Celotes, Draco, Agama, Uromastix, Moloch, Horridus, and in some snakes we can see this acrodont type of dentition. The third one is pleurodont dentition. If the teeth are attached to the inner side of the jawbone, that is, the tooth touches the bone only with the outer surface of its root. So in acrodont and pleurodont type of dentition, there are no roots, and the nerves and blood vessels do not enter the pulp cavity at the base. Example, Necturus, that is amphibia, and some reptiles. Among reptiles, the following families possess the pleurodont type of teeth, that is Guanidae, Guana, Xenosauridae, Xenosaurus, Mexico, Johnuridae, Africa, Anguidae, Anguis, Ophiosaurus, Ophisaurus, Lacertidae, Lacerta, Cincidae, Mobia, Helodermatidae, Heloderma, Mexico, Varanidae, Varanus, Cerosauridae, Africa, and in many snakes we can see this pleurodont type of dentition. So this is the classification of dentition based on mode of attachment of teeth to the jaw bones. So So acrodont type of dentition, just it will touches the edge. Pleurodont, just it will touch only the upper surface of the. In thecodont, where the root it will be deeply located. So these are the different types of dentition based on mode of attachment of tooth to the jawbone. Next one, that is classification based on succession or replacement of the teeth. Based on that, the teeth are classified into three types. That is dentition, it is classified into three types. They are monophyodont type of dentition, diphyodont and polyphyodont. Monophyodont, if only a single set of teeth, if it is seen throughout the life of the organism, that type of dentition we can call them as monophyodont type of dentition. Examples, marsupials retain all their milk teeth except the last premolars, the tooth-veiled whales, that is Odontoceti, some rodents, that is squirrels, and some insectivores, that is moles. Among platypus, sirenians and toothless whales develop only one set of teeth, that is monophyodont dentition. These teeth may not erupt, that is in some mammals, or if they develop are usually shed shortly afterward. So if only one set of teeth or single set of teeth, if it is seen throughout the life of the organism, that type of dentition we can call them as monophyodont type of dentition. The second one, that is a diphyodont type of dentition. So in this type we can see two sets of teeth in the life of the organism. The first one, it is temporary or deciduous teeth or milk teeth or lacteal teeth that are replaced by the second one, that are called as permanent teeth or adult teeth. So in bats, guinea pigs, the milk teeth are lost even before birth. In milk teeth of human beings, the molars are absent. So this is the diphyodont type of dentition. The third one, that is polyphyodont type of dentition. In this condition, if the teeth, if they are replaced by several sets of teeth continuously throughout the life, that is old teeth it will be replaced by the new one, like that several sets of the teeth it will be seen throughout the life of the organism. That type of dentition we can call them as polyphyodont type of dentition. Example, that is most of the lower vertebrates replace their teeth generation following the generation. Example, dogfish, snakes. So this is classification of the dentition based on succession or replacement of the teeth. Types of teeth. So in heterodont dentition, already we discussed about that. In heterodont dentition, the teeth it will be totally different in their shape, structure and functions. Based on that, what are the different types of teeth means? They are four types. They are incisors, canines, premolars and molars. Incisors, they are located anteriorly on the premaxilla in the upper jaw and tips of dentaries in the lower jaw. They are conical, single-rooted and monocuspid teeth. They are useful for cutting or cropping. So incisors may be totally absent in sloth or absent in the upper jaw in sheep and ox. In rodents and lagomorphs, the incisors are chisel-shaped, open-rooted and continue to grow throughout the life. Example, rabbit. Canines. The canines lie immediately behind the incisors. They are single in each half of the jaw. They are large, pointed, long, crowned with a single root. They are used for piercing and tearing of the flesh of the prey. Example, dog. Sometimes the canines are also used in holding the prey, mainly seen in the carnivorous mammals. In rodents and lagomorphs, the canines are completely absent and leaving the space between the incisors and premolars. That space we can call them as diastema. Any gap within the dental series is called as diastema. In horses, the canines are relatively small. In carnivores, dogs, tigers and lions, the canines become spear-shaped and used for piercing and tearing the flesh. They are generally used for feeding and piercing in relation to both feeding and fighting. Premolars. Following the canines, there are premolars or bicuspid teeth. They have two roots and two cusps. The premolars are used for grinding the food materials. The next one is the molars. Molars lie behind the premolars. They have two or more roots and several cusps. Molars are used for crushing the food. Premolars and molars collectively they are called as cheek teeth. So in carnivores, the number of the cheek teeth is often reduced, and in some cases, that is Fissipedia, lost upper premolar and the first molar in the lower jaw are modified into chisel shaped sharp cusps that are called as carnassial teeth. Carnassial teeth, which is used for cracking the bones and shearing the tendons. The molars is in each jaw of man, they are called as wisdom teeth, and its eruption is often delayed. So these are the different types of teeth: incisors, canines, premolars and molars, which will differ in their shape, structure and functions. Cusp patterns of cheek teeth. Just if you see that the cusp patterns of cheek teeth, the molars contains many cusps on their surface. So the cusps are raised tiny structures or ridges on the occlusal surface. The cusps are called as cones. Depending on the number and shapes of the cusps, the molars are recognized in different names. Just if you see among the fossil mammals, triconodont type of dentition we can see. In this condition, the molars will possess three cones or the three cusps arranged in the anterior-posterior lines. So this type of molar teeth are found in the fossils of Mesozoic mammals, example Triconodon. The next one is trituberculate type of dentition. If the molars contains three cones or the tubercles that are arranged in the form of a triangle, it is called as trituberculate type of dentition. It is seen in some Mesozoic mammals, example Splacotherium. Dentition based on feeding habits. So depending upon the feeding habit, the type of the food that are taken, the premolars and molars of recent eutherians have undergone in their shape. Cheek teeth are recognized into the following names. Bunodont. When the cusps in the cheek teeth remain separate and rounded, the tooth it is called as bunodont, that is mound and tooth. In man and in some omnivores, the mammals, just if you see that the cheek teeth are bunodont type and they are used in grinding the food material. The next one is lophodont dentition. If the cusps, if they are joined to form ridges or lobes, the tooth is called as lophodont type of dentition. Example, the cheek teeth of elephant, they are lophodont type of dentition. There is an intricate folding of enamel and dentine. So these type of teeth, they are used to grind all sorts of the plants and grasses. The third one is cecodont type of dentition. When the cheek teeth are with sharp cutting crowns, the teeth are called as cecodont type of dentition. So this condition of the teeth, it is present in terrestrial carnivores. These teeth possess the cutting edges and are useful for cutting and shearing the flesh. Selenodont type of dentition. If the cheek teeth with crescent shaped cusps are known as selenodont type of dentition. So in ruminants and horses, Perissodactyla, horses belongs to the order Perissodactyla, the teeth are selenodont, that is crescent shaped or moon shaped as teeth. If the teeth, if they are moon shaped and it is having that structure, that we can call them as solenodont type of dentition, and they are useful for grinding the plant matter. The next one is brachydont type of dentition. If the tooth, if it is having low crown and comparatively long root, if it is there, that type of dentition we can call them as brachiodont type of dentition. That is, crown will be short and it is having long root. Example, man. Hypsodont type of dentition. When the crown is high and the roots are short and open, that type of dentition we can call them as hypsodont type of dentition. Example, horse, incisors of elephants. So here triconodont type of dentition, where we can see the 3 cones. Trituberculate, where we can see the 3 cones or tubercles. And brachiodont type of dentition, where the crown it is short and the root it is long. And hypsodont type of dentition, where the crown it is high and the roots are short and open. This is the bunodont dentition, which is having rounded crown. And lophodont dentition, where we can see the ridges. So these are different types of dentition based on the cusps. So modification of the teeth based on diet. So the teeth of mammals are modified according to their food habit. First one, herbivorous mammals. The herbivores include oxen, sheep, goats, deer, antelopes, camels, rodents, elephants, and members of uneven-toed mammals. Their food consists of mainly grasses and plant material which require long mastication for digestion. In Artiodactylis, the grinding teeth possess the broad crown complicated by ridges and folds of hard enamel. So the premolars are not used for grinding purpose in this. The grinding function is occupied by very elongated hypsodont molars. The effective grinding surface, it is maintained by the persistence of the harder enamel. The incisors of the upper jaw are lost and the canine teeth are rudimentary or absent. So the incisors and canines of the lower jaw are present and are useful for grass cropping apparatus. So the cheek teeth of ruminants and horses, we can see this solenodont type of dentition. Rodents, they won't have canines, only incisors are useful for gnawing, scraping and nibbling. The incisors are sharp and chisel shaped, used for cutting purposes. The enamel are absent on the posterior surface of the incisor, and as a result the body of the incisors wear quickly. So this is a modification of the teeth based on diet. So as the incisors are provided with persistent open roots, they will grow throughout the life. So they have 3 molars or grinders on each side of the jaw. The cusps of the broad surface of the molars, they are joined in the form of ridges. Elephants, if you see that, they have lost all canine teeth and all incisors except the second pair in the upper jaw, which have developed into that of the tusk. So the jaws have 6 hypsodont molars in each jaw and are used as a grinding teeth. Out of 6, only the 2 molars remain functional at a time. So the surfaces of the molar consist of a series of deep plates composed of dentine and enamel that are bound together in a solid mass by cement. So these 3 elements wear at different rates, so leaving a rough surface. So as the dentine wears, the enamel of the crowns of the molars appears a series of transverse ridges. So in horses, all the cheek teeth are hypsodont with crescent shaped cusps known as solenodont, used for grinding purpose. So the enamel, dentine and cement of the cheek teeth wear at different rates, leaving a rough surface for grinding the grasses. carnivorous mammals. In carnivorous mammals, the canines are large, sharp and pointed, which are useful for tearing the purpose, and incisors are pierced into the body of the victim. So these teeth are supported by powerful muscles. The incisors and canines, they are useful for seizing, holding and biting. The last upper premolar and the first lower molar are developed into sharp chisel shaped structure called carnassial teeth that are useful for cutting the flesh. These carnassial teeth act against each other like the blades of a pair of incisors. So the cheek teeth of the carnivores are cecodont type because these teeth possess sharp cutting crowns. Let us see the omnivorous mammals. The omnivorous mammals consumes mixed diet including vegetables and meat. So many mammals including monkeys, man and true civets fall into this group. So the cheek teeth of these mammals are bunodont type. So the cusps on the cheek teeth remain separate and round in shape. So the incisors are used for cutting the food material. The true civets subsist on meat and vegetable matter. So they have broad crowned, many cusped molars. So the molars are designed to cut the flesh and to grind the vegetable matter. So these are the different type of dentition that are seen in animals based on their diet. Aquatic mammals. Among aquatic mammals, the cetacean, that is pinnipeds and sea cows, are aquatic. The sea cows have teeth which are greatly reduced in size. They are grazers and the teeth are little used. The well-developed lips are useful for grazing purpose. The pinnipeds have the teeth which have laterally compressed cones and 3 cusps in a row, which helps to prevent escape the slippery prey. The cetaceans have 2 groups, that is whalebone whales, Mysticeti, and toothed whale, that is Odontoceti. The toothed whales have homodont type of teeth. The teeth are used to hold the prey. So in whale, bony whales, that is Mysticeti, the teeth are completely absent. Instead, they are transversely arranged triangular plates of keratin hanging from the roof of the mouth, that is called as baleen. So the number of plates is about 300 and it varies in color in different species. The outer surface of the baleen is smooth and straight, but the inner surface has a hairy fringe to trap the food when the water expelled. So these plates help to strain the minute planktonic food. Dental formula. So the number of teeth in any particular species, it remains constant, but it may vary in different species. So the dental formula expresses that the number of different types of teeth that are arranged in each half of the jaws, that we can call them as a dental formula. So the dental formula, it is expressed by the number of each type of the teeth in each half of the jaws. So the teeth of the upper jaw are placed as the numerators and in the lower jaw as the denominators. So the numerators and denominators are separated by the horizontal line. So the kind of the teeth is indicated by initial letters like incisors with I, canines with C, premolars with PM, molars M. And for further simplification, the initial letters are often omitted. When a certain type of tooth, if it is absent, then a 0 it is used to indicate the fact. So this is dental formula. So dental formula of some mammals, if you see that a typical primitive eutherian mammals which is possessing 44 teeth, it is expressed in this incisors 3 by 3, that is in upper jaw 3, lower jaw 3, half of the jaw. In canines, each half will have 1 by 1, one in the upper jaw, one in lower jaw, premolars 4 by 4, molars 3 by 3, and totally 22 into 2, that is 44. So like this, the dental formula it is expressed. So in this table we can see the dental formula of different animals. Kangaroos 34, Australian native cat 42, opossum 50, horses and pigs 44, bat 32, old world monkeys 32, sheep, cow and goat 32. Here we can see that is incisors and canines are absent in the upper jaw. And new world monkeys 36. Like this we can formulate the dental formula of different animals. So unusual teeth in mammals. Elephant tusk. The elephant tusk is the second pair of the incisor seen in the upper jaw. The lower incisors disappeared. So the tusks are made up of ivory, which is a specialized dentine. The upper incisors have no root and they have grow to form tusk. So both sexes of African elephants will have the tusk, but in India only the males bears the tusk. So the tusks are used in offense and defense. Pig's tusk. These are transformed canines of both the jaws. They are useful for digging in the soil, for storage roots and tubers of the plants. Barking deer's tusk, which is enlarged form of the upper canine teeth. These are useful for self-defense. Walrus tusk. They are modified form of upper canines. The primary function of the tusk is to break the clams on the ocean floor. Origin and evolution of molars in mammals. So origin of the complex cheek teeth of the mammals was a controversial issue for a long time. So the simple single-rooted incisor and canine shows little modifications and are not taken into consideration in any discussion on the origin of cheek teeth. So two theories have been put forward to explain the origin of complex cheek teeth. One is concrescence theory. Concrescence theory. This theory was postulated by Kukenthal and Rose in 1890. This theory reveals that the cheek teeth originates by the fusion of two or more conical teeth. So in dugong, several enamel organs fuse to form the molar teeth. That is the demerits if you see that. As a theory, it is not at all supported by embryological evidence, and the condition found in dugong is considered as an exemption. So this theory has been discarded. Second one is differential theory or Osborn theory. This theory was presented in 1880 by Cope and Osborn, was revised by Gregory in 1934. According to this theory, this theory holds that starting with a primitive conical tooth, two additional projections or buds. Two additional tooth or buds will develop, giving rise to so-called triconodont, that is, which is having the three cone-like structure. So in the second phase, these cones are shifted so as to give the separate tubercles or cusps in the form of a triangle. So that's why it has been called as tritubercular position. So still later other parts may have developed from these three original tubercles so as to form additional cusps or folds. Thus arrived the varied type of mammalian cheek teeth that exist today. So what are the demerits? Due to abundant embryological and paleontological evidences, most of the zoologists are in the favor of this theory. So this is the Osborn theory. Thank you. Stay home, stay safe. If you are watching my video for the first time, please subscribe the channel.